Hey everyone, this is Ikatha Aquatics here. Gonna make a little video today. I got a quiet house. The wife and the kids are at the beach, so I know it's been a while since I've made videos, so I think what I'll do today is I'm gonna do a quick kind of tour of what I've been up to and showing you the tanks. I have a lot of content that I need to publish and kind of edit, but I haven't done that. So hopefully I'll get on that and start putting some more content out for you. But right now, let's just kind of do a quick tour of my tanks, what I've got set up, and what I've got planned. Leftover of the Glow Tetras from my daughter's original tank. I've got a couple of the electric blue Acara. There's the female hiding down there. Oh, here's the big old male, big boy right here. Get that glare off there. And this tank has been just went through a period of cyanobacteria. It looks like there might be a little still left on top, and there is some algae, a little bit of algae also on the plants. I'm kind of struggling a little bit with algae in here. I do feed this tank pretty heavily, and I am injecting CO2 because I'm trying to really get those swords to grow up. I had some trouble. I put root tabs in there, and that didn't seem to help, but maybe now they're getting a hold of them. But that's what's going on here. It's not looking the best. It's not the worst. So it kind of is what it is. Also, I have a couple, actually 3 different plecos in here. I've got a yellow or red pleco, I think with blue eyes, and a couple of long fins. But I don't see those at the moment. But overall, fish are happy and healthy. I do maybe want to try pulling these koi angelfish out and put them in a separate tank to breed, and then maybe down the road breed the electric blue Acara. They both have bred in this tank prior, but they haven't been breeding lately, and of course when they bred, they everything kind of got consumed. So maybe giving them their own quiet space might be good for them. All right, so over here I've got the 16-gallon water box. This is kind of what I consider my high-tech tank. I am running CO2. I've got a Chihiros light on here. Got a canister filter, and in here I recently rescaped it. I put in several different of the cup plants or in vitro plants, and I've actually sold. They've already been producing and selling a lot. This tank's doing really great. Minimal algae in this tank, maybe a little bit on the glass. This is kind of like how my tanks look. I just started shooting this. I didn't really clean any tanks or get anything prepped, but this is kind of how it looks. I can see a little haze here on the glass, little algae. But I've got some Rotala Atra in here, and I just gave this a real deep trim. And you can see it's already grown back. So about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I trimmed this all down, and this is all green, and now you can see it's all coming back. And then I've got some Pinophylla, Hydrocophila Pinophylla. I've also trimmed that back. And then this name right at the plant right here, this name is escaping me, but that's been growing pretty good, not as good as the rest. And then I've also got another type of Hygrophila here, but not sure. I'll have to look up those names, and I'll kind of pin those as I'm filming the video of what those are. The inhabitants are fishing here. I've got a whole slew of endlers in here, of the tiger endlers. You can see they're happy I'm home. They're like, feed me, feed me, feed me. But a ton of them. I think I started out with 3 males and 6 females in January, and now you can see there's just a ton of them. Fry everywhere, eventually, you know, I'm gonna breed these out. These are actually breeding, but I'll breed these out and then try to sell those. And also, these will be my first breeder award points, because I do want to start doing that. So this tank does really well, doing good with this tank. And then down here, this is one of my older tanks, oldies but goodies. This is one of, well, I like to say my no maintenance tank. Let me just kind of zoom in for you. So this is my 7-gallon cube. Still have my pair of killifish, the Australis. This is a no filter, no water change, dirted tank. Very father fish style. Very little, even in the way of top offs. You can see there is the lid. It's very tight fitting, so obviously the killifish can't jump, and you can see based on the dust, it hasn't been moved very much. It's just kind of got a little space in the front where I drop some food in, but because of that, really no even top off for this tank. Haven't got the killifish, or at least haven't seen them breed. Even if they did, I don't think I'd know because of the density in here. Once again, everything is just super healthy. Got some Val, I've got some Anubias, got some Monte Carlo carpeting down there. Some, you know, Scape is driftwood, and some rocks. I think when I put it in there, it was called elephant stone. Got some Rotala back there. I'm not really sure what the plant on the right is in the back, but definitely gonna get in here and trim. And the male always comes to the front. Female is more reclusive. She likes to stay in the back until it's feeding time, then she'll pop her head out, but then he starts chasing her around, so then she retreats to the back. But beautiful fish. Got this fish at a local club meeting from a guy that was giving a presentation. I think his name was, I'll have to put his name down in the description. But old timer and very knowledgeable about killifish. All right, zooming out. So I'll come over to my newest kind of scaped tank. This is my Alien Betta tank, 3.5 gallon. I believe it's Marineland, mostly Bucephalandra and a little bit of Nubius mixed in. And then on the top, I've got this purple frilly Riccia. And this is a really cool floating plant. Green, you know, top, very kind of delicate and small, but then it's got this really deep purple root structure. Really cool plant. Once it gets established, it's grows like crazy. I've taken this to the local auction or swap auction. Yeah. Last week I took 3 bags of this, and then I took 3 bags of the H-Raw and 3 bags of the Penafilda, and made a tidy profit. So, you know, starting to recuperate some money by going to the auctions. Oh, also in this tank up here, I almost forgot, I've got a bunch of, they're actually yellow, but under this light, under this Chihiros light and the settings I have, they look more of an orange color. But some, I've got shrimp also breeding in here. And so this is there's another one. Really good looking shrimp. And so eventually be taking some of those out and taking those also to the auction. Back down to the Betta tank. Alien Betta. So this guy right here, blue betta, really cool. I do have some algae. You can see there's some that hair algae kind of in there. I was hoping that the Riccia would kind of help take that away. This is almost a no filter tank. I do have a pump that runs on it. I do like have the pump go on for a few hours at night, but mostly it's also a no filter type of setup, and the betta kind of likes it that way. I've noticed that when I had the pump running full time, the betta, kind of blurry there. Let's see if we get it back focused. The betta did not come out as much, but now that the pump is off, much more active, comes to the front, check me out and things like that. Once again, this is another fish got locally. This was second generation, so it will be F1. So this came from the person who I got this from. They got the pair that they bred from over across seas in, I think it's Thailand where they all come from. And then these were bred in captivity locally. So really cool fish, really great colors. Probably put some B-roll in here as I'm talking about this. But this tank also doing well. All right, so this tank right here, I've got the 29 gallon. This is the last freshwater tank I have inside. I probably will overlay this with some B-roll, but what I've got in here is I've got about 15 or so of the Turkana jewel cichlids. And they're kind of being all skittish. They've recently started hiding more, but they're actually gorgeous fish. Beautiful small cichlid, jewel cichlid from Lake Turkana. Red and blue, like I said, I'll put some B-roll in here. But red with black with blue dots on the fins. What I plan on doing with these is I plan on moving them out to another tank, a bigger tank, and start letting them pair off. I think they're already starting to pair off, and start breeding them. And then as they pair off more and more, I will sell them off. I'll sell them off as pairs. So this tank really doesn't get much as far as this. More is for the purpose of raising these up. So this has just got a ton of different plants in here. I've got some guppy grass. I've got some Vallisneria. I've got some over here. I've got some subwasser tang. Underneath there, buried, there is a, you can barely kind of see it, but there's a lily, not a lily. The name will come to me in a second, but I'll put the link down there of the name of that, but I can't remember the name. Not lotus either, can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, some algae in here too. Once again, not too worried. Got some Cereus stone in here. Did have a piece of driftwood in here, but this tank is soon going to be kind of torn down, and then the inhabitants moved to another tank, and hopefully start breeding these out soon. So now those are all the freshwater tanks I have. let's talk about the saltwater. So here we have the mangrove tank. Mangrove is getting quite large. Kind of in a transition period. I'm starting moving tanks. This whole rack is going to be moved to another location, and this tank is going to be moved to a different stand to where that mangrove has more room to grow. And it's even, if you can see right here, growing down some prop roots. Everything in this tank is doing well. This is the mostly white light, so we're not seeing the colors of the rock anemones, but I've got some rock anemones in here. I've got some the Polyphylla grandis. You can see there it goes. The Royal Grama just kind of took off into its hole. And everything doing well in this tank. I've even got some mushrooms down here. Once again, under the blue light they will fluoresce, but in the daylight they're kind of drab. But everything healthy. The only issue I have, and you can see it on the glass, I've got some planaria. And I've had this issue for a while. I've been kind of putting off treating it because it can be one of those things that can kind of destroy your tank, because once they die, they give off a toxin which is harmful to your fish, which can kill your fish. But once I move this tank, I might make some efforts to treat it and get rid of it. There is medications that do work for that, such as Noplanaria, but I've just kind of been putting those off. It doesn't really bother any of the inhabitants per se, but it is just kind of like an eyesore. And then finally over here, we've got the 50-gallon. Got a lot of light coming in here, so I will throw in some B-roll later on over this. But everything in here is doing wonderful. All the inhabitants are doing really great. Everything's happy and healthy. Still have the mixture of LPS mostly, but a few SPS, such as the purple, what is it called? Purple Stylophora, Callog Tort, a couple different monoporas in the back there. But got over here, we've got our Euphyllias, and then our trumpet corals, and our blastomusas, and our Leptocerius. Do have, still Duncan's doing great. Do have a little bit of cyno, and the reason for that, I believe, is this tank lost the main pump for about a week, and so it was only surviving on the power head, but it did wonderful, and that's because it's such an established tank. This tank has been running somewhere between 3 and 4 years, and because of that, it's pretty, and the low bio load of fish. Like I said, I've got the damsel in here, and I've got a hawkfish, and I've got the tang. That's all I've got. But even like looking down below, I don't even run the skimmer. Run the skimmer at night just to keep aeration, but don't really rely on the skimmer. Can't recall when I did a water change on this thing. Probably a month or more since I've done any water change on this. Don't dose the tank. Yeah, it's just pretty rock solid, and things grow slowly now, and that's the way I want them to grow, because I don't really want things to grow quickly. But everything is very happy and healthy. So next stop was going to be my new project. All right, here's the new project. So the new project is I'm building a fish room. This is my first fish rack right here. I want to start breeding freshwater fish. So I'm gonna take about 3/4, 75% of the garage and make it my fish room. And it's all gonna start with this rack. I've already started building the rack. I've got the tanks, I'm starting to plumb them. I've even got some fish that I've already got out here. So there'll be an unboxing video, but I just acclimated some rainbow fish, and I've got some other rainbow fish in here. And then over here, I got a pair of breeding angels. So that's going to be the next journey for me, is starting to breed freshwater fish. I'm still going to keep my saltwater tanks, but I am getting more into the freshwater side of things. The aquascaping, the breeding of the fish. So it's just kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, I still do enjoy the saltwater tanks the way they look, and I don't really want to tear them down because they're doing great and there's no reason not to keep them. But as far as like doing anything more with them, I don't see that happening. I don't see myself setting up any more saltwater tanks. I still have 2 saltwater tanks at my work and then another freshwater tank. So not really going to be adding any more saltwater tanks, but I am going to keep the ones that I do have. So that's kind of a quick look at what I've been up to and how everything is going in my fish room. So if you'd like to follow me and my breeding journey and building this rack, I'll be hopefully posting videos about that content. You know, I have a long time experience in the saltwater hobby, over 20 years, but I'm relatively new to freshwater, about 2 years in, and I'm fortunate that I have a lot of people around me in the fish club that are very knowledgeable, that are guiding me on how to do this. But if this is something you're thinking of doing and you want to kind of come along with me and see what I'm doing and seeing the mistakes that I make, please follow me on my journey. God bless you.